Okay, so we got a couple of things here, bang bang in a row. And these things are both associated with the station that's coming up, which is Larson. First one's coming up right here somewhere. There it is. So we have a bunch of telegraph poles. I don't know if you can see them on the camera, but there's my marker. I'm going to try to give you a view with my phone. So what you'll notice is that there's a sign on the telegraph pole, and we've talked about that before. So basically what those signs are is they are car indicators. So I'm pretty sure this one says 130. Might be really hard to see, but so what that indicates is the amount of car lengths we are out from the siding. That one's actually kind of loose. I think the wind just blew and it kind of flopped a little bit. How many car lengths we out from the siding at Larson. And these were basically used, again, thank you, the internet comes to the rescue. So when I was through this area last summer, and I had taken some of these pictures, and I'm like, what are these things? I don't know. And I put them up on my Facebook page. And again, if you don't follow me on Facebook, make sure that you do. There's a link in the description. So essentially what these are is it indicates the number of car lengths that we are out of the siding here at Larson. So in the days before radios, as the train was pulling to the east, the engineer and the crew would be able to look and they would know essentially how many car lengths they are out. So for example, if they had a 100-car train, they would know that they were 130 lengths out of the siding, so that they had basically cleared the siding so that they could start to accelerate, because obviously there's a speed reduction in the siding. So here's one. Now again, it was really hard to see. It almost looks like it says 120, but I'm positive that one says 130, because we have another one just up here. So you can see we've got a bunch of telegraph poles in a row here. And we're back to the straight here. Where is that pole? It's not this one. I believe it's the next one. So there's the sign on the pole. And this one is even harder to read, but I'm positive after I did sort of an analysis, and maybe it's harder to read right now. Maybe when I was here in the summer last year, the sun was here and you could see the sign better. I'll give you the zoomed in view. So I'm pretty sure this one says 120 cars. And that would make sense because the siding here at Larson starts just up there, right? And if you're heading east out of the station, right, you'd have 120, 130, right? And so just an indication. The dog's walking through, the water's all full of ice because it's kind of in a shaded spot here. We forgot to look in that cut over there. There was actually some, maybe it melted. There was actually a kind of a few little spots of snow still kicking around. So those are kind of two nice little sort of legacies of the railway here. Those go back a long time. I don't know when they started using radios, but I'm sure those are probably pretty old signs. All right, let's zip you ahead a little bit here. You'll see some telegraph poles until we get to our next feature. pulling up to our next feature here, which I don't know how well you can see on the camera, but we are coming up to a creek crossing, and we have a little trestle here. You can see the nature of the geography here. This is the Canadian Shield, the Laurentian Shield, okay, the Precambrian Shield, whatever you want to describe it as. This is the geography of this area. Look at this big bog, this muskeggy swamp here. Again, back, you know, when the Ice Age happened, basically the glaciers came through and scraped this area, pulled away a lot of the soil and stuff that covered this, and basically left rock and swamp and water. So let's hold up here for a second, and then we're going to take a look at this trestle. All right, let's make our way across. Ooh, we're open here, and that wind is cold. So this is Larson Creek, and this is the trestle that spans across it. We'll show you the sides here momentarily. But in terms of the length of it, it's got to be 30 feet, 35 feet, something like that. It was funny, last week we did the hike. We were east of James, and there was a creek crossing. It's a branch of the Savannah River, and I was just like, oh, this thing's tiny. It's like 20 feet long. It's almost 40 feet long, or at least 35 feet long. I think that's what I put in the video. So I am terrible at estimating the length of these things. You can see that it's the bottom part, the deck is in okay shape. The sides are seen better days. Again, this line was abandoned 31 years ago, so I don't know if any work has been done on these. You can see that they ran an excavator over here, maybe trying to clean up some of the work that the beaver did here, which I'm going to show you. Let's get the bike off the grade here. So you can see the north side here, and you can see what the beaver has done. And you can see, so basically all of this mud and muck and everything kind of piled up, all the branches. They obviously cleaned a spot up there, so the water is flowing through. Let's whip around to this side here. So when it was the logging road, I'm sure that they did some maintenance and stuff on here, because obviously they were running logging trucks and things over here, but I don't know about now. So here you can see they cleaned up a bit here. Maybe they need to come back and clean up some more, because you can see on this side here, you can see over here what it's supposed to look like. So you can see it's I guess 5 bents, 3 in the middle of the river. You can see it's not particularly deep here, maybe just because this is where the water's been flowing through, and this is where all the stuff accumulates, right? But so you can see those bents in there. Again, for 31 years, it's in not terrible shape. The lovely aroma of creosote, one of my favorite things. Did you get some water? Yeah, so you can see here that, I guess because the water kind of flows through there, it's kind of deep in through here. No milepost marker. I think the next bridge, or the one after that, there's a bunch of bridges in a row coming up on the other side of New Mac Road, and there's a few milepost markers on there. Okay, so let's hold up here for a second. You can see another telegraph pole beside us, and then we're going to be into Larson very shortly. Okay, we're kind of in the home run stretch here, because just passing that bridge or trestle, and now we're going to be heading into Larson Station very shortly. And basically Larson means that we are the end of the hike. Here we can see we're into this nice straight stretch. like we got a little bit of a cut coming up here. Yet again, another logging road here. And then our little cut here. You can see again the very elaborate ditching on the other side. Lots of ditching work they did on this line to try to mitigate a lot of the water issues. Okay, let's zip you ahead until we get up here to Larson. So somewhere here or up there is the start of the siding. You can see there's a bumped out area here on the south side of the grade, which we know from the maps where the siding was. So again, looks like there's something here. Again, 31 years does a lot of damage. So again, you can see what appears to be the siding there. Okay, let's zip you ahead here until we get to our first feature here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to hold up here because now we're starting to get into where everything was at Larson, and we're going to pause here for a minute and then get going.